Hey everybody, this is Tam here. Thank you for joining us on yet another wonderful day. We're going to bring you with some wonderful contents. I'm coming to you here from Australia. Right now I'm actually on a 4-hour trip, and I've just pulled over on the side of the road to a random McDonald's store, and I'm leveraging their internet, their technology, to jump onto this Hangout today. Now, I could easily say no. I don't want to host. I could easily say no. I could do this another day. But you know what? Knowing that we've got such a special guest today coming on, and knowing that we can, share so much value, and hopefully that we can give you one simple thing that you can take away from this Hangout that is going to enhance your life. It just gives me so much excitement, and I just have to do whatever it takes to get onto this Hangout so that I can deliver this to you. So today is not about me, today is about you. If my internet connection is going to slow down, cut off, or you can't hear me or see me properly, I apologize for that. But we're just going to focusing on how much you can get out of this Hangout. So without further ado, I want to introduce our special guest. His name is Ramil Morla. And I think at the moment Ramil is living in Thailand. He's living on the beaches of the world. He's traveling a lot. So as far as I know, Ramil used to be like 80 pounds overweight. Just hold on one second. 80 pounds overweight. He had stage 4 hypertension. That's high blood pressure. Got laid off from corporate America, and he worked in trying to make money online using eBay, e-commerce stores, and all sorts of different vehicles before, and he was never successful until he found Empower. So I'm very excited to hear what Ramil has to say. He's going to hopefully share some of his secrets. But first, we're going to dig into his background. Before we get to Ramil, hey Ramil, how you doing? Just want to say a couple of words, maybe to the viewers here before we pass the mic on to Em.
Yeah. First of all, thank you guys for being here. I know it's a wonderful weekend, Saturday evening for you guys, or for wherever you're at in the world right now. I just want to thank you for being here. Just showing up to this Google Hangout just shows your willingness that you guys want to learn, and hopefully you could take out some, get a nugget that I share with you, because this is based on my own personal experience and my story. And I like to be very transparent with you and just show you that I'm a real person too, and I've had to overcome a lot of things in my life to get me to where I am now. But obviously we're always constant growers. We always want to develop and create greater things in our lives. So I'm just excited to be here today and share what I have to say today. So thank you.
Awesome, sweet. We have also on the panel here Emily Nguyen. She's a wonderful marketer. She's a friend of mine that I've met at an event, and now we've become, I think, real close friends. We're business partner right now, and she shared with me some of real intimate stuff, real personal stuff that which I really appreciate. And Emily has so much to offer people, and I'm so thankful to have her on this panel. Emily, how are you doing over there in Canada?
I'm good. I'm actually pretty excited, and it is, what guys, it's a long weekend here. It's Victoria Day long weekend, so Saturday, Saturday night. If you guys are here, you are at the right place and at the right time, and I commend you for even watching this Hangout, because it does show how determined you are and how much you're willing to learn, and that's what we want to provide to you guys, as much valuable content as we can. Tam is awesome. I mean, he's writing to me on Facebook. He's on this 4-hour trip. There's all those kids. Are they with you, Tam, in the background there?
No. Funny story. I was actually across the road at Hungry Jack's, and there was a birthday party there, so there were just like dozens of kids just running around. I was like, I can't do this here. So with the short amount of time, I had to run across the street to McDonald's, and I've sort of found a quiet spot, but there's still some people just wandering around here. But it's cool, you know. It's cool.
Yes. Awesome. And you know what? I'm excited about Ramil as well. He, like Tam said in the introduction, Ramil has so much to share. I mean, this guy went through so many obstacles in life, and he never ever gave up, no matter what challenges came across him. And I mean, that's what he's gonna get into, and how much, you know, he was able to face to now succeed in this online business world. So make sure you do take out your pen and paper and notepad, get the golden nuggets, and we're gonna get onto it. Back to you, Tam.
Awesome. You know, so without further ado, and let's not waste any more time, Ramil, you've got the stage, brother, and just let us know who you are, you know, where you come from, what struggle and battle you faced, and we start from there.
Okay. All right, so welcome everyone. So my name is Ramil Morla, and I'm originally born and raised in Monterey, California. So for those of you who aren't familiar with this area, it's actually about 2 hours south of San Francisco. So it's along the coastline. There's wonderful beaches out there. It was a really nice place for me to grow up personally. I was raised there for about 15 years of my life. And, you know, I just experienced anything like any normal child would go through. You know, just, you know, obviously as kids we were just wanting to play and, you know, do things as normal kids would want to do. And so for most of my life I was, you know, born and raised there in Monterey, California. And then in about 2001 I moved further up north to the San Francisco area. And ever since then I've been living in this area, around this area. And just wanted to share a little bit about my story. Basically back in 2011 and the years prior to that, you know, I spent most of my 20s basically a bit overweight. Okay, so and I want you guys to kind of put this into perspective here. Many of us, we have all these different things in our lives that we don't necessarily want or wish that hadn't happened to us, right? And for me personally, that was just that weight issue that I was struggling with. And, you know, I have no one else to blame. I can't say, hey, you know, it's my parents' fault or it's the society's fault or whatever, right? Because at the end of the day, it really comes down to one thing. And it comes down to the decisions that you make, the choices that you make, the foods that you make, the type of lifestyle that you live, etc. And so for me, until I realized that it was really up to me to control that, you know, I was just basically spiraling down. You know, I was going downhill, and it got to a point where I went to a doctor's one day because I woke up one morning, right? This was back in 2011. I woke up one morning, and I had like a severe chest pain in my left side, and obviously the left side is where your heart is. So I woke up and I had a shortness of breath, and I couldn't breathe right? And I was like, hey, this is not normal, you know? And so I went to the doctor's office. I had to figure this out, like what was going on? How come I'm feeling this way? And obviously I knew I was, you know, a little bit overweight, and exactly at the time I wasn't really living the type of lifestyle or the type of, you know, have the healthy life that I was wanting to live. And I'm not going to get into details like, you know, what I did, but I went to the doctor and he said, hey, you know, Ramil, you know, I'm going to run a couple tests, check your blood pressure, et cetera. And the first test he ran was my blood pressure. And right off the bat, right when he ran that test, he immediately knew that the reason why I was having these chest pains is because of that. You know, my blood pressure was excessively too much, right? It was beyond what's supposed to be considered normal. And he says, you know, the one line I will never forget, this is what he said to me. He said, Ramil, you know, you're 27. I think I was 27 at the time. 27 years old. And if you don't do something about this, you know, hypertension that you have, because he basically said I have stage 4 hypertension, which is pretty much borderline of nearly getting a heart attack or stroke at the age of 27. I mean, if you could imagine how that would feel like to, you know, for me to just basically lose my life because of that, you know, those poor decisions that I made. And that was an eye-opener for me. He says, you have stage 4 hypertension, and if you don't do something about your eating habits, your lifestyle, you know, you could potentially risk losing your life at an early age. And for me, that was the greatest eye-opener. And from that moment on, I made a decision. And, you know, like when when you're in life and when you feel like you're going through struggles or you feel like you're unsure of where to go, right? Sometimes it just takes like a one word, right? So that's why we always say whenever you attend these hangouts, it's that willingness and that open-mindedness that you need to have, because all it takes is one simple idea, one simple concept that you can click, that might click into your mind, that could change your life forever. All right, so don't ever just like, you know, just because you're all these hangouts and you feel like, okay, just get to the secret, etc., like that, right? It's because really what it comes down to is the subconscious mind picking up on something that you don't know that you're going to need. Maybe not now, but potentially in the future. Okay, so it might not necessarily click right now, but if it does click, then that's great. Okay, so for me, that was the greatest eye opener. So basically, to fast forward that, made a decision. I said, all right, I'm going to do whatever it takes. I need to drop some weight, obviously. And he says, you know, you're about 80 pounds above your ideal body weight, okay? And I was like, dang, I can't believe, like, how did I do this to myself, you know? And I was literally at the point where it was like, I could have just continued to be, you know, where my weight was at that point and continue to live the lifestyle that I was living because maybe I just felt like giving up, right? It was my decision. I could have done that, you know? And I literally, my mindset was already in that point where, like, why even try? I mean, I should just give up, right? It's like, I'm already overweight. The doctor says I already have this, and I'm like, it's going to be so hard to get out of this, so why even try? Just keep continuing to live that type of lifestyle. But I knew something inside me said, you know, I had to dig deep in this. Something said, like, you know, you need to get out of this because you have a greater purpose in life. And that's what I did. I started going to the gym, made a commitment to go to the gym at least 5 days a week. I know that might sound like a lot, but that's what I did. Went to the gym 5 days a week. And I started to notice that each time I left the gym, you know, just the feeling of, you know, doing a good workout, you know, starting light, like on the treadmill, et cetera, like that. The endorphins that it releases into your brain, you know, all the neurochemicals in your brain that's released after a good workout. I started to feel better about myself, and everything started to change. Like the foods that I was craving before no longer were like on my priority list. So instead of craving like other things that were unhealthy, I started to crave healthy foods. See, and see, that's what happens basically once you make a decision that's basically going to propel you in the right direction of success towards your life, and you know that it's for you. You start to think a different way, and you start to act a different way. And then when you start to act a different way, you produce different results. And so for me, that's what happened. I started to produce results that were not only visible physically, but mentally. You know, I had greater mental clarity after exercising, and then knowing that when I choose the right foods to eat, obviously, you know, I feel good about myself because I know that at least the foods that I ate are going to actually help me burn more fat, you know, help me keep the excess weight off, and it's going to make me feel good and have more energy. See, so there's always, you know, that cause and effect, and every time you have there's an action, there's always a result behind that. So, you know, back in 2011, I was that weight, and then it took me about 6 months to drop down about 80 pounds. So by the time we went to, let's see, the first Empower Network I ever attended was Fight the Forces of Evil back in September in San Diego. That's when I had the noticeable drop in weight, and, you know, just to know that, you know, just a couple months prior to that, I was overweight, high blood pressure, depressed, sad, and really had, you know, really no focus or direction of where I wanted to go. Although I knew I wanted to do something, but I just felt trapped because of that situation. So I guess what my point is that no matter what you're going through or how trapped you feel, there's always that ability for you to just make the decision and say, you know, like, you know, Dave Sharp always says, you know, enough is enough. And, you know, until you get to that point where you've created so much pain in your life that you can no longer endure that pain, there has to be something to change. That's when things will change. But you have to follow through on that commitment that you've made for yourself in order to see that as a successful, you know, breakthrough for you. So 2011, you know, fast forward to 2012, I was up until that point, I was working as a marketing associate for a company, you know, the corporate world. And, you know, it felt nice to have that comfort of, okay, every 2 weeks I have a paycheck. Okay, every 2 weeks I have a paycheck. But to be honest with you guys, I was very miserable. I mean, the paycheck was decent, you know, but it's just that fact that every morning I dreaded waking up. And I don't know if you guys could relate to me, but just that morning, every time you wake up in the morning, you just feel like, man, I really wish I didn't have to just get dressed and wear a suit, you know, or wear a, you know, a collared shirt and a tie and put slacks on and drive off to work and, you know, have to commute an hour to work, you know, especially for those of you that commute. I mean, it could be kind of hard on you, you know, it's rough. And no, for me personally, I've commuted for several years where I lived about an hour away from my workplace, and then it took me an hour to get to work, but then it took me almost an hour and 45 minutes to get home because the commute was so bad. And it got to a point where it was very almost just like, wow, this is crazy. Like, I can't believe I'm doing this, you know. And to top it all off, I'm at work doing things that I'm not necessarily happy or content with. I know that there's something else greater for me. And, you know, just being at the workplace, doing something else for my boss. And, you know, whenever I go to lunch, always having that thought in my head, like, man, I got to get out of this. I got to get out of this, right? So, I mean, I know many of you guys could probably relate to that, okay? And so basically what I'm saying here today is just about going the extra mile, okay, in your life, in your business, in, you know, whatever it is that you feel like you are called or been sent here on earth to do. Your ability to go the extra mile really will determine how fast you can create results, okay? So you can create results in your business, you know, once you start doing the taking action, but going the extra mile will just accelerate that, okay? So if you feel like, for example, you're working in your business, okay, or you're trying to achieve a weight loss goal or whatever it is that you're trying to do, all right? We all know that we have 24 hours of time in the day. Okay, so how do you utilize that 24 hours to maximize the results that you're going to get in your life? So if we all have 24 hours in a day and you feel like you've prioritized, you've written down your goals, okay, first of all, you got to write down your goals. You can't just say, okay, my goal today is just to do X, Y, Z, you know, and it doesn't matter how long your goals are for that day for you to produce or to finish, as long as you write them down. And you know, you'll start to notice that when you write things down and when you do them, you'll be like, okay, I'm actually closer to finishing my goals than I realized, right? So if you exert 100% of your effort to reaching your goals, and you'll realize like, okay, I still have some time left. Going the extra mile means if I exerted 100% of my effort, why not go 105%, that extra 5%, right? Just that extra 5% in your effort will just produce massive, massive results in your business, in your life. And it will create, what it does is actually develops your character. And what it does is it sets the boundary, that sets the tone for, you know, the next phase in your life. Okay, it's like, okay, I know I could do this. I could add a 5% to my daily income producing activities. So what is it doing to my subconscious mind? It's making me stronger. That means I'm able to do more. You know, I could set up higher goals for myself for the preceding days, weeks, months, years, etc. All right. So it gives your own subconscious mind a new self-expectation of what's possible for you because you know you can do it. So going that extra mile makes a huge difference. And I don't know if I told you guys this, but right now I'm in Phuket, Thailand with my wife, and we're just here for a week. You know, just to be able to just travel and experience life in a totally different, perspective. It makes you realize like how precious the time we have here on this earth really is. Okay, and so it's no longer something for you to say like, you know, like life is so hard, I just can't seem to get out of this, because I'm telling you right now, I got out of a situation where I felt like giving up. I was at a point where the lifestyle that I was living was so hard because of the things that I was doing, the physical, you know, the dependencies that I had, whether it be through other people or substances or, you know, the foods that I was eating, the relationships that I had. You know, there were many times where it just felt so unbearable. Okay, and this was just a few months ago, so, you know, or a little over a year ago. So I want you guys to really take this into consideration, that you can get out of the situation, and once you make a decision and you go the extra mile towards, okay, I'm not turning back now for sure, but whatever I do now from this point forward, I'm going to move forward in this positive direction, in this new light, but I'm also going to go the extra mile. right, to accelerate this process, because I no longer want to feel that way anymore, but I do want to feel this way, you know, and any step in the right direction always creates joy in your life. And I want you to write this note down, this phrase down. Any step in the right direction will always create joy in your life, okay? And you might not even know it's right, you know, but what happened is the sense of feeling that you will feel. You know, if you feel this, all of a sudden you feel happy because of what you're doing, you know, obviously you're going towards the right direction in your life. So, yeah, I just kind of want to share that with you. And right now we're in Phuket, Thailand. It's a little rainy right now, but we're just experiencing the culture, the lifestyle. And what happens is, you know, if you're watching this right now, and you know, if you're a traveler right now, or if you want to travel, okay, let me tell you something, is that once you start to travel, and once you start to put yourself in a position like, okay, now that you have time, and now if you can eliminate the money issue, right, and now that you're in the moment where exactly where you want to be right now, or where you need to be, okay, then everything just starts to feel like, you know, your purpose in life, the exact moment that you're in right now is all exactly where it needs to be. So don't really feel like you're stuck, okay? Because you don't have to be stuck. You can make a decision and recreate your life, the path that you want to go. And I know it's worked for me, and I've always had this dream of wanting to travel the world and experience what it's like. You know, my wife and I just 3 months ago, we came back from a Mediterranean trip across Europe, you know, Spain, Rome, Italy, and France, right? And we went on this cruise, and it was nice. And I don't know, many of you probably see that video that I created, but I put that on YouTube.
You know what,
so,
guys?
yes.
I forgot to mention too, Ramil and his wife, they just got married 7 months ago, by the way, and they are totally awesome, traveling all across the world because of this online system that was able to help them live this freedom lifestyle traveler. I mean, anyway, I just wanted to put that out there because lots of people, you know, look for that type of freedom. And anyway, sorry, just wanted to bring it up, but go on with your story, Ramil.
Yeah. So basically, you know, going the extra mile is telling yourself, or raising the bar of what you can do in your life. Okay, so that's what it is when you go the extra mile, you're raising the bar. And when you raise the bar, you know, while everyone is like right here, you're going to be up here. But when you get there, it's not about just you, right? It's like, okay, now that I've experienced this journey towards success and growth, now that I'm up here and everyone's down here trying to figure things out, how can I give back to these people, right? And that's what it's about, guys. It's not about, you know, me climbing to the top, or M, or, you know, Tam getting to the top and then just forgetting about everyone else, right? Going the extra mile requires that character of, you know, that leadership quality, right? So we don't just get to the top and forget about you that are watching this right now, or if you're already watching this and you're already at the top, you're not just sitting here saying like, yeah, it's all about me, you know, I make a lot of money and I do all these cool things, but, you know, how can I personally give back to the people that want to create change? Because obviously you guys are here watching this right now, so that shows us that you're willing to learn, you have an open mind, and that you want something to change in your life. Because obviously you wouldn't be watching this right now if you didn't want something to change in your life. And so I hope my story has kind of conveyed some type of, or instilled some type of inspiration or some type of shift in you. Okay, it doesn't matter if it was a weight loss issue you're dealing with, or whatever it is, you know, a smoking issue, and I don't want to get into details, whatever it is, that issues you have, but it might not even be a personal issue. It could be an issue with someone else. But you can change all that. Just basically, you know, find it dig deep within yourself and create that pain in your life. Okay, is that pain greater enough to the point where like that pain is so much that there's no more excuse to feel that way anymore? I don't want to feel this way anymore, but I do want to feel this way, because when I feel this way, I feel like everything flows. There's this consistent, you know, synergy of that goes out to the universe, and for some reason I'm a lot happier. People are able to talk to me more, and I feel like I just attract the right people in my life, and business is growing. You know, I'm getting more people into my business, and I'm able to just give back to the people who are on my team, etc. Right? And, you know, once you could eliminate the time and money issue, that's when everything in your life starts to fall into place. And then you'll really feel that sense of, you know, giving back, right? And that love and compassion for other human beings, because that's what it's about. You cannot build your business without other people, you know, and if you feel like you're stuck or you have to do this by yourself, I'm here to tell you that you don't have to do this by yourself. That's why we have these hangouts, because we lift and we help each other get on the same mindset. You know, that's why we call these, like, you know, Google Hangouts, or you want to call them masterminds, right? It's because every mind has basically energy that's transmitted, right? And when minds come together, we all start to feel this inner peace, this balance of energy, and this is what actually creates the shift in our mind, keeps us motivated. And so whenever you're feeling like you're down or you don't have the motivation to take action, etc., you know, come hang out with us on these Google Hangouts, because I promise you it will uplift you, it will bring you up, and you will feel, you know, the energy that we share with you, because we are transparent. We're human beings just like you, and you know, we have issues and things not always perfect in our lives, right? But we are all here to just kind of share our experiences with one another, and that's exactly what I'm doing with you guys today. So with that said, I mean, I hope you got something out of this. Just go the extra mile, you know, and if you're watching this right now and you haven't got started with us, go ahead and click on that link below. You know, there's a register now. It's a big yellow button, right? And just find out exactly like why we do these things, right? Because people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, right? And for me personally, it's because I have a wife, and it's because I feel like I want to spend more time with my family, and it's because I love to travel now and experience the world exactly how God created it, right? Because if we live this lifetime and always think of the things that we wanted to do but never get to actually do it, then it's kind of like, you know, like, man, I wish I was able to do that, right? But now you can. Now you can. You know, with the opportunity we have at Empower Network, by you just clicking on that link below and getting started with us, I mean, things can change in your life and in your business, and you can start to do these things. Like, I'm just an ordinary guy traveling, and, you know, I'm nothing like crazy or anything. I just like to, you know, I'm a friendly, cool guy, and I like to travel, and I like to talk to people, and this didn't just happen overnight. Remember my story back in 2011. I was an introverted person, never liked to talk, very shy, low self-esteem, confidence, and now I'm just like the most gullible person, and I'm happy, and I'm excited, and I feel good, and, you know, the lifestyle that I'm living really feels like it's aligned with my purpose. And once you find alignment in your purpose, everything just feels so, you know, connected, and it just flows. So I hope you enjoy that, and let me pass it back to Sam.
Hey guys, wow, that was amazing, Ramil. I took so much notes here, right? And I guess you're right. Like, you know, if it all comes down to decisions, right? Like, people can live however they want to live. I mean, a lot of people complain or whinge about, you know, the circumstances, where their location, you know, the fact that they're stuck in their job, they don't have enough money to start a business. But you know what? Those are all excuses, right? You can choose you can choose to say something else. You can choose to live a life that you want, and just go for it, right? Just take action and move towards that. What we've got right here. So before I tell you like some of the aha moments that I got from Ramil's speech right now, I just want to put this in right here. If you want to get started with us, right? If you want to learn more about power, you definitely want to hit the link below. If you're the type of person who has been around the internet and you've been hearing about power everywhere you go, you've seen ads, you've seen people holding up big checks, you know, guys that are holding checks of, you know, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000. I think Vic in Chicago, he held up a check that was like mind-blowing. It was $921,000, right? He made that in 3 months. I'm going to put a huge income disclaimer right here, because your income is not guaranteed. When it comes to income, it's never guaranteed. But it just shows you what is possible if you're willing to take massive action, like Ramil was talking about going the extra mile. If you take massive action, you get massive results. So these are some of the aha moments that I got from Ramil. So while I'm talking, what you can do is click the link below, and what happens is a new window will pop up. What you're going to do is pull out your credit card, fill in the details, right? And then just make sure, if M invited you here, make sure her name is your sponsor. If Ramil invited you here, make sure his name is the sponsor. If I invited you here, make sure my name is the sponsor. And just go ahead, make the decision, and start with us for $25. Get inside, and then see what it's all about, right? But here's my takeaway from what Ramil was talking about. Right, he was in a situation.
Hey Tam, can you speak a little bit louder, please?
Okay, sorry. I'm sort of whispering here because I've got a lot of people. Is that better?
Yes, a lot better.
Okay. I'll move closer. So, what I took away from what Ramil shared was that he was in a situation, right, when his life was threatened, right, and he had to make a decision, either change or stay the same, right. And I guess Ramil was fortunate to be in that position, because when you're at that position, right, when you're in that situation, when you're at the lowest point in your life, right, when you can't go any lower, when there's so much pain in your life, right, that is when you actually will start to hate your situation, and it's going to help you, propel you towards a different direction. So what I want to say is, invite pain into your life, all right? Invite these struggles, invite all of that, because it's going to help you change your life. But then again, it all comes down to you making a decision, right? You making a decision, and you open up to change. Like for a lot of you guys who are on this webinar right now, right? We can only take you so far with the words that we have, right? We can only give you so much. If you are here looking to improve your life, if you're here looking for a certain secret, if you're here to look at, to find something that's going to help you break through, you will find it, okay? If you do break through, it's not because of us, but it's because of you. You have to thank yourself for that, okay? Because you're here, you're looking, you're actively looking, right? So all we are is we're just a messenger. We're giving you what works for us, and it's up to you to figure out the rest out. I've got so many more points, but I'm sure Emily also, picked up a lot of stuff as well. So before I actually spill all the beans, I'm going to save it for later. So just hang in there. If you want to hear the rest of what I have, then you're going to have to stay to the end of the webinar. But so for now, Emily, hearing Ramil, his story, his background, his teaching, what did you get from that?
All right, guys. Tam, is it okay if I mute you for a bit, because you kind of have like background noise? Cool. All right. If you guys are listening to this, and once again, you are at the right place and at the right time, Ramil definitely covered so many key points there. He wanted to change his life as soon as he discovered that he had a life-threatening disease, where he had to then decide to start going to gym, eat healthier, and change his lifestyle in order to live a happier life. And when he was actually talking about his story, I kind of there were so many things that I could relate myself to, because I also decided to change my life's course when I was diagnosed with diabetes type 1. Now, diabetes type 1, it's not because I was eating unhealthy and I became obese, or it's genetic. It's genetic, and the doctors don't know where diabetes type 1 actually come from. So I was working in the restaurant industry. I opened a second restaurant, and at that point I was just working so much that on the sixth month after the opening of my second restaurant, that's when diabetes type 1 hit me. And so I couldn't work anymore. I kept going in and out of the hospital. My body was not functioning properly. I couldn't manage any of my businesses. Anyway, so I lost my second, I sold my second restaurant with a loss. Decided to just stick with my first restaurant and manage it even during my sickness. And so at that point, that's when I knew I had to throw myself into a different business so that I can spend more quality time with my family, my loved ones, and to be less stressful. You know, because one of the reasons why diabetes type 1 kind of came out, because my doctor told me that it could have slept all the way through during my life, but it came out because most likely it was due to stress, and, you know, I wasn't eating and I wasn't taking care of myself properly as well. So knowing that, I knew I had to find a better lifestyle, and I had to find a business that would help me accommodate, help me, you know, get the lifestyle that like I always wanted, which is the Empower Network. And the online business is definitely the business model that I was always looking for, where I don't need to worry about my set of employees. I don't need to worry about all the inventories I have to take care of. I don't like, there's just so much stress, and it's much more duplicatable. Not only is it much more duplicatable, but the model is I mean, it's just so much more cost effective on top of that. So when Ramil was talking about his story, I was definitely able to relate to that. And guys, here's the thing though. You don't want to have to wait until you fall upon a life-threatening factor to be able to change your life, your lifestyle, you know. Yes, it's something that, you know, that's going to hit hard, and you're like, damn, you know, what have I been doing all these years? But and then decide to move on to a better life. I mean, if you know that, if you keep asking yourself, we kind of covered this the other time during the other hangout. If you ask yourself today, am I happy doing what I'm doing right now? And there's so many no's coming up, then you know already you have to change something right then and there. Don't wait until you have a life-threatening situation to change your life, you know. But definitely, I mean, let me just go through my notes here. I don't think he was talking about having the subconscious mind as well. Yes, you know, listen to we're gonna cover that in another hangout, because I'm probably gonna take up too much of the time here. Yeah. But I'm gonna pass it back on to Tam, so he can move on with the hangout. Oh, you're still unmuted, Tam.
I absolutely agree with Emily. You know, you don't have to wait to rock bottom to make a decision today to change your life, right? If you you could go through a certain learning curve. For those of you who are listening right now who have like high blood pressure, you know, for a lot of you guys who are listening right now who are like, you can't get up in the morning because you hate your job, because you hate what you do, you know, you definitely want to hit the link below and make a decision today and join Empower, join us, and start today to change your life. I know that it's a hard decision to make, right? Because there's so much opportunities out there on the internet, right? Before you do anything, I mean, you always have to second guess, you know, you have to think about it, you have to do your research, and I understand that, right? But the thing is this, guys, if for once in your life, if you just trust, right? You just stop listening to your monkey chatter, right? The little voice that's in your side of your head, and just say, hey, look, this is you know, and maybe this can work for me, right? And trust not only in us, but in yourself, right? And just take action and just dive right in and make a commitment, set a goal that you're going to make in 90 days, 10K with this business, okay? Or in 90 days, 5K per month with this business. right? That's how you should approach this kind of business. Don't come in here and say, oh, I'm going to try and see how it works out. If I can make money, then I'll go hard at it, right? Because it doesn't work like that, guys. You have to. A lot of people want to make money so that they can do less, right? But the thing is, you have to start out doing a lot first, and then do less later, right? So a lot of people actually got that mixed up. They want to do less, and they expect more. But in fact, you have to do more, and then in the future you can do less. Okay. What I want Ramil to sort of pick up on it for me is this, right? So I'm telling you guys right now to hit the link below and go ahead and join us inside of Empower. Ramil was talking about, trying all sorts of different opportunities, selling eBay stuff, to having an e-commerce store. But he only started to make money inside of Empower. Now, Ramil, if you can tell me, why Empower, how come Empower did it for you? Why people should join Empower today?
All right, yeah, thanks, Tam. Thanks for that. So, picking up on what Tam said, really what it comes down to is, so back then, I don't know if I mentioned that to you guys, but back in June of 2012, so just a little over like 10 months ago, the marketing company that I was working for actually got laid off from that company. And what happened was I was at a point where, again, another obstacle came into my life, right? But because of my ability to overcome the previous challenge that I had with a high blood pressure issue, I knew that if I could overcome that where I was literally about to die, right, then I could overcome this. I mean, what is that? This is just a job, big deal. I could always go out and find another one, right? And here's the key word, though. I could have went out to find another one, but the thing is, remember, like I told you guys, I was going to work, commuting, etc., and I wasn't happy. I wasn't satisfied, and I felt like every time I went on lunch, like, okay, I have, an hour of lunch, and then I have to go back to doing this thing that I don't want to do. I don't even want to be here. So I knew that, okay, I could let that get the best of me or, overcome it like I did with my weight issue. And so that's what I did, I went out and I looked for opportunities on the internet. I first started selling stuff on eBay, and I've done this in the past too, just, selling stuff on eBay and just buying them at a cheaper price, buy low and sell high, etc. That's great and everything, if you're only in it for the money. But let me tell you something, guys. If you're just in it for the money, you will never really be satisfied with your life, right? Because they say, like, money isn't everything. And let me tell you why it isn't everything, okay? Let me step back a little bit into this. So imagine if you were in a position where, like God forbid, a life-threatening position, but let me just paint a picture in your mind. You're swimming, right? You're swimming, right? And all of a sudden, you're a good swimmer, you know how to swim, and then all of a sudden you have like a leg cramp or something. And then now you can't float, you can't even paddle, and you're starting to sink, and you're like, oh shoot, I'm drowning. There's no one around you, right? And just say that you're starting to sink down, and you're losing air, and you're about to drown, etc., right? Do you think for a moment that on your mind is, oh man, I can't believe it, like, the 50, the 100,000, the 200,000, the $1 million that's in my bank account right now. Like, do you really think you're thinking about your money at that time? Like when you're drowning, right? And you're about to die and you're about to lose your life. Do you think money is the only thing you're thinking about? No, right? Of course not. The only thing you're thinking about is that, you want that fresh air. I need to breathe, because we all have this survival mechanism inside of us where, like, okay, we're born to survive, right? And we're born to succeed, and we're born to create breakthroughs, but yet many of us experience breakdowns. And I know you've probably heard that phrase before, but a lot of us experience breakdowns because of all this negative stuff that we tell ourselves. So for me, I knew I needed to find a vehicle, something that would not only position me to just make a lot of great money, but also for me to grow as a person. Because when I know that when I grow, I'm able to share those experiences, and I'm able to uplift and help other people, and therefore empower people. So I mean, what better name than the Empower Network, right? Because it's all about the people. It really is all about the people, and it's not about making another dollar to satisfy myself. Because like I told you about that scenario that I painted for you guys, if you're drowning, you're not thinking about your $1 million in your bank account. you know, most likely you're not. You're probably like, okay, I just want to survive, right? I just want to survive. And for me, I needed to be in a position where not only I could make money, but I can grow and I could help people and I could develop myself. And at the end of the day, knowing that I did my very best to not just focus on myself, but be selfless and help other people. And Empower Network provides all those things. So you see what I mean? Like, not only do they provide you with an opportunity where you could position yourself to make a lot of money, right? Not a guarantee. So if you're watching this right now and thinking that you will, you know, we're not guaranteeing you that. But what we are guaranteeing is that you will grow as a person if you plug into these trainings, if you follow what we teach in the Empower Network, and if you have an open mind, and if you're just really sick and tired of what you're doing right now and you want something different in your life, then you will. You know, something will happen in your life and you will experience a breakthrough and a change. So Empower Network provides you with an opportunity to make a lot of money. It provides you with the personal development tools that you need. It provides you with a community, a family of support that you can basically depend on. You know, you can whenever there's a time where you feel down, you could always come to us and you know, hang out, you know, because these hangouts will change your energy, right? Because what it does is it paints a different mental image in your mind, and that's why it's so important that you start to listen to, you know, positive, encouraging, motivational music, because it does paint a different picture in your mind. You know, you could paint a picture of being depressed or sad or gloomy or down, right? But all of a sudden, so I don't know if you guys experience this, whenever you have a bad day, right? Like you're not feeling well or things aren't necessarily going your way, right? But then all of a sudden someone gives you some shocking news, like exciting news, like, oh, did you know that, you know, blah, blah, blah is coming into town? And it's like, just for example, it's like a cousin you haven't seen in so many years that you were, you know, you grew up with and you were very close with. And all of a sudden it's like, wow, I get to see my cousin that I haven't seen in so many years, and you're really excited, right? So what just happened? You went from a state of being down and depressed and gloomy to now feeling excited and looking forward to seeing your cousin, because what happened is you painted a new mental image of that cousin, right? And it doesn't matter what mental image you paint, okay? You could start to paint this mental image of the future that you want to live, of this new lifestyle you want to live, and the clearer you get on this mental image, the more real it will feel. And then the more real it will feel, the more it will start to manifest into your life. And, you know, it's really true. This is exactly what happens, because for me personally, I always had this image of wanting to travel, what it would feel like to experience Thailand, Phuket specifically. I always wanted to go to Phuket. So what I did is I started watching YouTube videos and doing some search on Google. I was like, wow, this would be awesome to travel to, you know, to Phuket or whatever. And look at, I'm here now, you know. And it's just a good feeling to know that the Empower Network will give you that mindset shift, because I think that relationship that you create with yourself, because of the tools that Empower Network provides, will, you know, is the most important relationship you'll have, is the one that you have with yourself. And the way you have that relationship, the way you foster that relationship that you have with yourself, is knowing and being true to yourself and accepting who you really are, right? And knowing that we have people in Empower Network with the tools, with the leaders, you know, the founders of the company and the leaders and the teams. We have all of the things that will just magnify your growth and your success and your personal development, right? So, I mean, how can you say no to that? Not only will you make a lot of money, or could you make a lot of money, but you can grow and take these skills that you've learned now. So if 5, 10, 15 years down the road, whatever venture you're in, doesn't matter what business you're in, you could start to live your life and apply all the things that you've learned. Now that you've created this mindset shift, you can apply that in your life, and I can only imagine, you know, how far things will take you, right? Once you start to really absorb what we teach in Empower Network, once you start to learn what everyone here on these Google Hangouts have to share, because like I said, we're just ordinary people, but we're here to create extraordinary results in our lives, but most importantly in helping those that are on this Hangout and other people. So back to you, Tam.
Emily, did you have did you have something to say?
Add something on to what Ramil was saying there, because he did touch base on, you know, if you do get in, then you have access to all these amazing tools, and the community especially. See, when Ramil started, like he said in his story, he started off on his own. You know, he jumped from product to product, you know, because he was trying to figure out what worked online. So that's, you know, those are the challenges that you do stumble upon when you do start off on your own, because you're trying to figure out what's working out for you. So a lot of people are jumping from product to product, wasting a lot